Welcome back, viewers and subscribers, to Red Button Journal. Today, you're not going to believe, we are in foreign. We're in Colorado, but we're in the flat part of Colorado. We're in the town that I grew up in. It's a little town in northeastern Colorado called Julesburg. And we're just going to drive around and just show you a few things, show you where I grew up, show you where my dad's store was at and where I went to school. I think they're all torn down now. Huh?
The video instead of telling the people.
Oh, yeah, I should just do the video instead of telling you all. Okay, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. We don't have all the cameras, you know, because we're in foreign.
They will see the snow.
Okay,
so know.
right here, my hand might get cold after a bit, but it's really the perfect time of day and the sun's in a bad spot. I might have to put my sunshade on. You know that, sweetie? I might do that. But for right now, let's don't worry about it. Because I think the sun is in such a place that my old high school was right here. But they tore it down and put, oh, I'm on the wrong side of the road. Thought I was in Jamaica. Thought I was in Jamaica, people. Sorry. This guy coming towards me is like, what is wrong with you?
Must I look?
What is wrong with you? Can you believe that? I was on the wrong side of the road. I thought I was in Jamaica. You know, that shows how I've gotten used to Jamaica. Okay, when I was born, there was a basement house right there, people, and that's where I was born.
Where? You don't see it?
Right over there, where in this corner. There was a basement house right there where that garden is somewhere in that neighborhood or that area. That's where I was born. 6 weeks later, literally 6 weeks later, my parents moved. And we're going to go down the street here and show you where. Say something, sweetie.
It's snowing on the ground, so they,
so
they know you are in foreign. Everyone know that we are in
All right,
foreign.
right here. That's the house I grew up in, right there. They've changed it quite a bit. My bedroom was in the basement. Yeah, I'm just doing a YouTube video. I grew up in this house right here. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just doing we're here from out of the country. We were here for my mom's funeral. Oh boy, that sun is low in the sky here.
You just attended your mom's funeral?
Yeah, and so we're just going around doing a video.
Maybe they might hear us. Tell them
This is my brother and this is his house.
Oh yeah? Cool, yeah.
that also.
Yeah, I'm
is,
Tom.
Be a part of your video.
Yeah.
You be safe on wherever you're going.
Well, I keep trying to drive on the wrong side of the road because where we live now is you drive on the other side of the road, and I keep forgetting.
Well, if you ain't got much traffic, you don't match mother in this town, I guess.
That's true. Well, bless up.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Yeah. That garage wasn't there. We just, you know, had a big garden back there and big hedges and stuff. I don't know why I'm swinging this camera around.
So that house was whose house originally?
Oh, it was my grandfather's house.
Because that's what I
It was
expect.
a basement house.
That's what I expect you
Yes.
to tell the people.
Yes, it was
instead
my
of
grandfather's
talking
house.
about-
It was my mom's. And this hospital right here, that's the hospital I was born in. I was born in that hospital right there, people. In a little town in Julesburg, Colorado.
And then maybe if you had told...
Anyway, that was my grandparents' house, and it was a basement house. He built it up. And 6 weeks after I was born, sorry, I'm just swinging this camera every which way. And anyway, they've done, you know, they've made a lot of changes here. But the maternity ward used to be over, I think over in here somewhere. So it's all different now. Oh, they've even got a helipad now. Look at this, sweetie. They got a helicopter pad. That's new. This baseball field right here is where I played baseball growing up. Now, they don't have dugouts here. They just have a fenced in area. But we actually had dugouts when I was a kid. Whatever reason, they got something growing in them wrong and they got rid of them. But they actually had dugouts when I was a kid. But this right here is where I played baseball. Hit a lot of triples right here. I was a pretty good batter, but man, I hated when the ball got hit towards me. And then over there's the football field, but we'll drive around a different way to get there. We're gonna drive around a different way to get there. It's a little town where I grew up, people. People, people, people. What do you got to say about this, sweetie? Anything?
Just looking at it.
And I'm sorry about the lens flare, people. We just, you know, we had to visit with everybody. Some people I, you know, may not ever see again. And it's kind of sad, and so I just want to spend time. This is where I played football. And the home stand used to be on the other side, but then they built this concrete stand, so then they made this the home stand, the home side. And now they're the Cougars. But when I was playing, we were the Julesburg Lions.
So they changed it to...
I think they're the Sedgwick County Cougars. I think it's a consolidated school now. Yeah. Yeah. And there's the track where I ran track. You can see the track around there. I ran the 440 and the 880 yard dash. And sometimes I'd run the 220. I ran hurdles. And that was about it. That was about it, people. And there was a swim pool over here. It used to be over here. I don't see it. I used to, when I was a kid, there's a swim pool right over here. I don't know what they're doing now. They're got it all dug out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sun,
Yeah, it's something.
the sun picked it.
Yeah, I don't know, but that was the swim pool, and this is just a couple blocks down from where I grew up. One time I came over here to play tennis with a friend of mine, and I didn't know nothing about tennis. So I tried to play tennis same way as you play ping pong, because I knew how to play ping pong. Well, in tennis, you only go up to 4 points, and then that's the game. And then you go to the next game. Well, in ping pong, you go to 21. So I started counting, and we played to 21. Man, we were tired when we got done. I didn't know how it went, you know. Anyway, right there, as you can see, is the house I grew up in, right over there. So let's go down back by the school. So I lived a block away from the high school where I went to school. Okay. And this is a different school. But now there's a gymnasium here. Now I wasn't very good at basketball, even though I'm tall. So I didn't play much basketball when I got older. I played in the stage band, so I played the bass guitar. I was more a musical kind of guy, you know. And this was the gymnasium. They've changed the front of it, the side of it, but that's the old gymnasium too. And our football locker rooms were there, and we used to practice on another field down here. And I'll show you where that's at, because it's right down this street here. So we're getting the whole tour, people. And this, whoa, man, that's a deep. But this is what it's like in foreign, real nice roads. But the houses, they're not as opulent as they are in, they're very opulent in Jamaica. A lot of the homes are that y'all have seen. But this is just small town America where I grew up. This is the practice field where we did our practice for football. We'd practice here. We didn't practice on the field that we played at, because the field we played at, we didn't want to wear it out, because it's a lot of time there's snow and wet, and those cleats will dig out the mud playing American football. But many a times for practice, I'd come down this alley right here. We're all suited up, and when you play football in the fall and it's cold, and you're playing in the snow when you're playing American football. And the junior high school where I went to junior high, which would be like primary and middle school, was right here. And they've just recently finally tore it down.
Yeah, they're demolishing.
They're in the process of demolition right now. And it's too bad, I didn't get to come see it
I wonder
before.
what they're going to do there.
I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to build a new school or what. And
For sale. This house is for sale.
the one that's for sale, I went to school with a kid that grew up there. And
This house here.
yeah, and he's the one that used to loan me He's the one that loaned me his motorcycle
Oh.
when I went to get my motorcycle license. And so when I got he unfortunately was in an untimely accident
Oh.
and passed when he was, you know, still a teenager.
Whoa.
But he used to loan me his motorcycle. And that's how I got my first motorcycle license when I was 16, was on that borrowed motorcycle. Now, anybody that knows me in Jamaica knows I had a motorcycle for a while.
Sure.
And I was a wild and crazy motorcycle rider in Jamaica. I was dropping all the time, and Madge was so worried about me. And I finally had to get rid of it.
But you cannot ride, that's why.
No, she knows I couldn't ride. And then here's the
Not ride.
You
were riding when you were 16.
Here's the
It's different
church
now.
that I went to growing up, right here. This church right here. This is where we had the funeral service for my mother who passed. And you all are wondering, wait a minute, how you doing a video and all excited? You know, I tell you what, I weeped and weeped and weeped. I don't have a tear left, you know. Well, maybe I got a couple, but you know,
But your mother lived a full
she lived
life.
93 years old. And she played the piano at her chapel service 10 days before she passed. She was a musician. She taught me how to sing, and I never did learn to play the piano because I wouldn't practice, but she was a wonderful pianist. Taught me how to sing and played piano for me. Played piano in church growing up. Oh, I get a little choked up talking about it, but you know, and that's the public library. They used to have the museum was in the basement, and my grandfather, on my dad's side, he was real big into historical stuff, and a lot of the exhibits in there were old arrowheads and things that he had found, you know. And this theater right here, that's where I used to go to the theater. Probably where I had my first date as a kid. Isn't that crazy?
No,
No, you don't want to hear about it, huh?
it's not crazy.
And look at this. Look at this hardware store here, people. I'm going to get on the wrong side of the road, just take a good picture so you can all see it. Look at the sign. Look at the sign, people. Can you see it? I'll try to hold my camera still a second. Dye Hardware Company. This business is closed now. There was nobody to take it over in the family after my uncle and my father passed. But when they when they went to retire, there was nobody to take it over, so they ended up selling off, and the person ended up going out of business that bought it. But they were in business over 100 years. They were the only place in town, I think, that didn't go broke during the Great Depression. Them and the phone company were the only two businesses stayed in business during the Great Depression here in the U.S.
So it passed over from your grandparents to...
Yeah, David was the fifth generation. My nephew worked in that store, and he was the fifth generation. I worked in that store, too, before I was in an awful car accident when I was, 18 years old. I worked in the store at the time. I wasn't in college or anything. I'd graduated from high school, and I'd gone to college, and I didn't want to study, and so I didn't really work out for me. But there you can see the name of the town, Julesburg, Colorado. That's the old power plant there. And it's a farming community. You see the big grain elevators there and everything. I guess we can go back and go by the...
Yeah, you can go back.
I want to go back because what I want to do is I want to show you the depot where my grandfather, on my mom's father, where he worked. He worked for the Union Pacific Railroad that came through, and he worked in different towns along the railroad. But when he worked here at Julesburg, this would have been where he worked, at this train depot up here. And I'm sorry, people, if you're not hearing me, I'm not really talking towards the microphone enough. I got my head stuck out the window. I'm just, this is really something. I mean, everything's changed, there used to be a stoplight here, and I just had a habit. I stopped, used to cross the tracks here, but they changed it and put a different place where you have a big overpass. But I rode a train to North Platte, Nebraska when my grandfather was working there, back when they used to have passenger trains running on the Union Pacific. But here's the old depot where my grandfather worked. And then when my dad came home from the World War II, he was a Marine. When he came home, he met my mom and they got married she was 15 or whatever. 16, I guess. They got married in 47. And she was born in 30. So she was 16, yeah. Because she hadn't had her birthday yet. They got married in June. Her birthday was August. That's where I bought my first car. Right there, that building with the round top. That was a car dealership.
Okay.
I think it wasn't Ford. It might have been the Chevy dealer. The Ford was down here where we're going now. But I bought my first car there and I rolled it. I wrecked it.
Yeah.
And fortunately I didn't get hurt. Oh, this used to be a grocery store down here. Oh, here's where the old Ford dealership was. You can see that looks kind of like a dealership from that was an old Ford dealership years ago. It's something else now. There used to be a bowling alley down here somewhere. Maybe it's on down further. So I don't know. Well, that still says parts service there. So I don't know. A lot of new stuff. A lot of new stuff. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the bowling alley's still around here. Oh, somebody's got a log cabin. Check this out.
Oh, I like log cabin.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's big.
Yeah, it's very big.
This must be some business thing, like a...
No, look, somebody could just make a house that way.
But it's big.
All right. My good friend lived along in here. Actually, it was a man who was a blacksmith. He had a blacksmith shop back there, and that shop back there. Oh no, the one over here. This was the one. This is where they lived. His name was Bill Hayden. Man, he could cuss. But he had a blacksmith shop back there, and he had an upholstery shop. But he took a liking to me, and he taught me all kinds of things, and he let me run the metal lathe, and people aren't going to hear me talk. And I bought all kinds. He took a liking to me. People were afraid of him because he would cuss so, but he liked me.
You like cuss people?
Yeah, but I don't know. He took a liking to me, and I took reading lessons from his. Yeah, I didn't read very good when I was a child, and so I had to take a special in the summer. One summer, his wife gave me remedial reading courses that summer, so I wouldn't have to be held back a grade. And
I know, look how good you can read.
I can read now. I can read lickety split. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, some children just slower than some.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It just took me a while to catch up. But that's how I got to know him.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a great relationship we had, and his wife was so sweet, and she did help me probably somewhat in reading, although I just never really quite learned how. My best friend, that's his house right there. I don't know who lives there now, but my very best friend, that's where he grew up, in that house at 312. His name was Mark Ingram. Over here is his business. His dad had a business too, but he stayed and took over the business. I could have taken over my dad's business because I was working there, but I was in that awful car accident. But see, they had an electric rewinding company here, and it seems like maybe they're out of business now. Maybe they retired and nobody took it back. But you can see they rewound engines for the farmers, the electric engines, So you don't have to buy a whole new engine every time. You just rewind and rebuild it, So that's what he did. And there's a museum here, people. And where the old train station used to be. And they're not open. Madge so much wants to go there. They're always closed when we go. But my mother's wedding dress was made out of a parachute that my dad used to parachute into Japan after the end of World War II, right after the atomic bombs. And
So how you know it's not open? How you know?
I can see the doors were tight and shut, and there's no lights on. Anyway, and my
I want to see that
my
wedding
dad
dress.
brought that parachute home with him. And there's the Fort Sedgwick Museum. So there's a couple museums here.
What is the one down here so they dress into?
The one the dress is in the one in the old railroad place where my grandfather, my mom's dad, worked at one time. Oh, I forgot to show you where I had my first restaurant job. You know, I worked in my dad's hardware store when I was very young, but then I got a job at a local restaurant at one point, and I was going to show you that, and I don't even know if the building's still there, but I meant to show you, and I didn't even see the building, so I didn't even mention it. But then I had a big time job, and I even got a job as a cook at a restaurant out here by the main interstate highway. And I'll go show you where that's at. But I'm going to pause the video here for just a minute while we drive out there. And maybe I'll turn it back on when we go to cross the river, so you can all see the river where I used to go bullfrog hunting and stuff. Madge won't eat bullfrog legs, but I used to eat them.
Nobody in Jamaica.
Nobody in Jamaica don't want anything to do with that. They're not like Jamaican toads, okay?
But they are still frogs.
They're still frog legs, and they're
relative.
and we used to go fishing for them. No, not fishing, but spearing for them at night, you know.
There are some cousins.
All right, well, I'm going to roll the window up, and we're going to drive out there. And let me pause this real quick, people.
That's a frog place.
Okay, people. That was a sand pit right there. That's where I used to bullfrog hunt. See that? See that hole in the... You don't see any water. You just see ice. It's frozen over. So I want to just see that. In fact, I want you to see the river up here, too, so you can see how cold it is. You can see what a river looks like. And
Don't I drive so fast if you want him to see it?
huh?
Oh, yeah, drive so fast. See the river over here, Sutton.
But it used to be frozen.
No, but if you're driving so fast...
It thawed out already. It was all frozen up, wasn't it? Oh, no, it's up here. It's up here.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying, why you're driving so
I'm
fast?
not driving that fast. I wanted people to see this.
Oh.
See, people? That's the river. See those big chunks of ice on the river?
So, like, oh, it's so cold, frogs could be in it?
What would be in it?
Frogs.
Yeah, they can live underneath it. Well, they're cold-blooded, so they... See, it's jammed up because of the bridge. Because over here, it's running pretty free, see? There's quite a bit of water in it. You know, running pretty free. But over into the sun, and sorry about the sun, people, the sun's really low in the sky. Right here, there used to be a truck stop, a Husky truck stop, and a restaurant. Right here on this vacant spot here. Probably, well, you could see the concrete.
Yeah.
Where the, and then you can see where there's kind of, there used to be a building there. See, people? And that's where I worked. And they used to park right over here and come in the side, and I got promoted to be a cook. And I was a cook. And they had to lose money because one of the perks of working there was that you could eat. And I'd eat and eat and eat.
So, Platte Valley, that was where you...
Yeah, the Platte Valley, and let me tell you about the Platte Valley Inn here. Actually, this truck stop that I worked at, and then this Platte Valley Inn over here, a classmate of mine, and her dad started these. It was his business, and what I said I was a musician. I also played not only the bass guitar, I played the bass violin, but like in a jazz band. And they had a bar out here, and people would come out and drink, and dance and have a live band. And we got hired, me and the guy that played the piano and somebody that played the saxophone and somebody that played the drums. So with piano, saxophone, drums, and I played the bass fiddle, as I called it. And I'd spin that fiddle between notes too, you know. But right over here was the bar.
Over where?
Right over here, see this entrance on the side?
Okay.
That was the entrance to the bar. And we played in there. I don't know, we did it once. I played another time with another group. The one time I made, I don't know, $25. I think we got paid $100, but that was back when that was a lot of U.S. money.
Time, yeah,
that was a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then another time I played in here too. There was some special deal that I played in. It was a bigger group where we had trumpets and
Wow.
all kinds of something, you know. But I played the bass
Hey, you
guitar
look,
instead of the
look.
bass fiddle. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and drive back to Denver because it's going to be dark here pretty soon. And thank you so much for joining me in my hometown and seeing where I grew up and everything, you know.
Yeah.
It's really,
Bringing back memories of your boyhood.
yep,
Yeah.
it was really nice. Thank you guys. Be sure and like, share, comment, and subscribe. Big up yourself. Bless up yourself. Later.
And amen.
Amen.